Be here. But, Caddy, right now, let's move on to polling. We had bad news for the White House a few days ago in the form of an ABC News Wall Street Journal, or Washington Post poll. Now NBC is out and gives us more of an idea on whether those bad numbers on Obamacare and on the president were outliers or not.
Yeah, it doesn't look great from this new poll either, Joe. There's brand new polling this morning from NBC News and the Wall Street Journal. Overall, the president's job approval rating stands at 44%. 50% disapprove of how he's handling his job. Compare those numbers with the Washington Post ABC News poll you were just talking about. It puts the president even deeper underwater, 41% to 55%. That's the lowest approval marks since the start of his presidency. When it comes to Obamacare, the NBC News poll shows 36% say the law is a good idea. That's up just 1 point from last month. 46% still, though, say it's a bad idea. The ABC News poll also has the law upside down, 44% approval, 48% disapproval. On foreign policy, 37% back the president's handling of the situation in Ukraine, according to NBC News. That's a 6-point drop from last month, by the way. 45% disapprove of his approach. The ABC Washington Post poll showed similar results there as well, a 34% to 46% split. Overall, 65% of those polled by NBC News say the country's on the wrong track, while 27% see things moving in the right direction. Neither of these polls, Joe, looking great for the president.
All right, so Mark Halpern, a lot to digest here. The president's approval ratings in the low to mid-40s, according to these two polls. He's down in the 30s on the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, Ukraine. Also, numbers are extremely low, and there is this conflict, this cognitive dissonance between voters who say we don't want to be involved in the world, which is the headline of this poll in the Wall Street Journal. Let's pull back and draw back, and frustration with the president's Ukraine policy. It's kind of hard for the White House to square.
Well, it's difficult for any president to be working hard on a foreign policy issue and not have a rallying effect and not have people rallying around him and encouraging him. And that is, in the second term, a place the president would like to be able to show some strength, because domestically things are frustrated too. There's not a lot of good things to say about this from the president's point of view. It suggests the midterms are going to be a big problem. It suggests the more he works on foreign policy, as David Axelrod has said, the lower his numbers go. And it suggests that he's not going to be able to get a lot done if the numbers stay like this, because the things he wants to do, immigration, climate change, require a strong president. And he is not, under either of these polls, a strong president.
How connected is, for people that don't follow it closely, how connected is the president's approval rating to results in midterm elections?
It's probably the thing people think is the biggest indicator. If the numbers are as they are now, the party will have a hard time doing well. The danger is that these numbers are artificially high, in the sense that the president's got a floor under support. Going to 40 is about as low as he ever gets in any poll since he took office. The problem is a lot of that support comes from places where we aren't going to see contested races. His numbers are lower than the national number in Arkansas, North Carolina, the other battlegrounds,
Louisiana, Alaska,
and even Iowa, and other places, Colorado, where the battleground Senate races are and the governor's races are. So the White House needs the president to be in a stronger position by November. These numbers suggest he's got a lot of work to do, and the more he works on foreign policy, again, David Axelrod has made this point, the harder it is for the country to rally and to feel better about him, because they're just not interested, as you said, the Journal points out.
And we heard a couple of weeks ago that Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, the $8 million was going to cause a big uptick on this. Certainly there was an outlier in the ABC poll last month, but right now that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday with the NBC poll, the ABC poll that had it at 44%. Now our NBC poll says 36% of Americans think the health care law is a good idea. It was about a week ago everyone was talking about how this issue had turned and Democrats were going to run on it in certain races, but it's still largely unpopular.